Daybreak, and this morning now we have Julie Horowitz, Shellfish Policy Advisor, Governor Inslee's Shellfish Advisor, and also Bill Dewey from Taylor Shellfish, and we're talking shellfish this morning. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good to see you back on the air here, and Washington Shellfish Week kicks off on June 4th, and that's what we're talking about today. Big deal here in the great state of Washington.
It is. We're very excited about Shellfish Week. So back in January, when the governor launched the second phase of the Washington Shellfish Initiative, he proclaimed June 4th to 11th Washington Shellfish Week, which is really exciting, and it's some of our first daytime low tides, so a great time for folks to get out on the water and dig some shellfish. People are
able to do this all around the great state of Washington. We just got wrapped up with some razor clam digs out on the ocean, and then the shellfish things. There was the stuff up near Lilywap a couple weeks ago, and so people are getting out there and they're enjoying the shellfish here in Washington. Do we eat a lot of shellfish? Do Washingtonians eat a lot of shellfish?
We do. I mean, Washington is a shellfish mecca. We're the largest producer of farm shellfish in the country. But then from a recreational harvest standpoint, I mean, it's part of our culture and heritage here in the state. People get excited about shellfish. You mentioned the razor clam digs. You know, tens of thousands of people out there on the coastal beaches digging the razor clams, and in the Puget Sound here, you know, Hood Canal has got some of the best shellfishing in the state. All of our South Sound inlets, you know, it's Mason County is, you know, it's like ground zero for shellfish.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun things planned here for Shellfish Week to help people get excited about it.
I was just going to say, what are some of the plans that you guys have for this week that's coming up?
Yeah, well, Julie can maybe talk about some of the broader state things going on, but Taylor's obviously, you know, we're a big player in the shellfish world here, and have a lot of different facilities. Are excited to showcase some of those for people. So, you know, of course, everyone knows Sin here in town. She'll be out at the Washington State Parks, has a shellfest out at Westport, at the Westport Light State Park next Saturday, and Sin will be cooking her fare out there, and the proceeds from that go to the Parks Foundation. But then we've got a seed sale next Saturday as well up at our Samish Bay Farm, a tour of the Samish Farm, some cooking demonstrations. All next week we have 3 oyster bars in downtown Seattle, so we're going to be doing oyster shucking classes at the oyster bars. And then next weekend, the following weekend on June 11th, 3 different activities going on. So we have out at Willapa Bay, we have a seed setting facility out there. We'll be doing tours and open house and barbecue there. At our hatchery up in Daybreak Bay on the Hood Canal, another open house up there. And then at our processing plant here in Shelton, we'll have an open house and tours, and Sin will be cooking again there and showing people how to cook clams. So lots of fun activities from Taylor's for the week. So we're excited about it.
If somebody wanted to plant some seed, or however you want to call it, does it come with directions, or do you really have to know what you're doing?
No, you don't have to know what you're doing at all. I mean, we have our farmers on site talking to you about it. We have information on the website. We have a number of seed sales throughout the summer, and on our website we have a link and information on the website about how to, and then our farmers are there at the seed sale explaining to people. So if you have a beach out in front of your house and you want to start a shellfish garden, you know, come see us. We're happy to help hook you up.
And those seed sales get pretty packed.
Oh, it's crazy. They are so popular. The ones we have here in Shelton, you know, on a Saturday morning between 8 and noon, we'll have hundreds of people show up. It's really a lot of fun. People get excited about it.
Well, we'll make sure we remind folks throughout next week. Julie, what's going on for statewide for shellfish activities?
Yeah, all kinds of great things. So as Bill was saying, there's Shellfest coming up at Westport Light. That's Saturday from 11 to 3. And then there's an event at the Ken Chu Shellfish Research and Restoration Lab, and that's a native shellfish restoration hatchery that's out in Manchester, and they're also doing an open house this Saturday from 11 to 2, so you can just run from one shellfish event to another.
That's a brand new facility that got built after 2011 when Governor Gregoire launched the Shellfish Initiative. It's a really cool restoration hatchery doing native oyster seed, abalone seed, and stuff, so a fun place to visit if people have the opportunity.
Manchester? Where's that?
Up on Bainbridge Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Port Orchard. And then the Pacific Coast Shellfish Growers Association is also doing an event at the South Sound Estuarium where folks can go on next Monday afternoon and check out shellfish tanks and learn what they look like when they're filtering the water and all that cool stuff. And something that's not, an activity, but a great resource for folks, Department of Health and Department of Fish and Wildlife, post information about recreational shellfish harvest. And they're working on a combined website so folks can go to just one place to find out, is the beach open? Is it, can they harvest there? And all of those things that you need to know before you go out and dig shellfish. So that's a great resource that's coming online.
So we talk a lot about just individual people that go out and perhaps make their own oyster beds, but what's the economy like, the shellfish economy in Washington? Where would that rank compared to other industries in the state?
Obviously compared to the Boeings and the Microsoft, it's pretty insignificant in the grander scheme of state economy.
Yeah.
But for rural Western Washington, it's huge. So here in Mason County, it's the second largest private employer here in the county. Out in Pacific County, out on the coast, it's the largest private employer. So, and that's just the shellfish aquaculture industry. That doesn't include all the tourism and all the jobs that are created by tourism as people come to our counties to harvest the shellfish and so on. So it's, for the rural parts of the state, it's a big deal.
It's amazing when I'm out away from Washington. I remember being down like in San Francisco or Southern California and going to restaurants and seeing on the menu Taylor Shellfish oysters or Washington grown oysters, and it is they go all over the country, all over the world.
And I think that's a really key piece, right, is the export market really brings the Washington name and respect for the great Washington product all around the world, which is unique and pretty special.
And from an economy standpoint, it's good as well, because when that product gets shipped out of state, that money comes back into Washington state. So unlike service jobs and the service economy that turn your dollars just over and over in the local economy, these are bringing new dollars in from outside the country and outside the state. So.
How's the water pollution levels these days for shellfish? I know we had some problems in Oakland Bay a couple years ago, but those seem to be taken care of. The rest of the waterways in Washington, plenty of open times for growing.
Well, it's an area. This is one of the areas that Julie really focuses on. Maybe she should comment on it instead of me. But it's, I serve on the Puget Sound Partnership for the state, and it's one of the areas. They have a target of upgrading 10,800 acres of degraded shellfish areas by 2020. And it's one of the areas the Puget Sound Partnership's actually making some really good progress. The state has had a huge commitment to this. The Governor Inslee, a big commitment to upgrading these shellfish areas, and we're making progress. It's the general trend is in the right direction. We lose some areas, but we gain more. And,
good.
So the general trend with the focus that the state has put on it and the federal government's put on it is that we're doing well.
Yeah, we are. We're making progress, and we're, Washington is sort of unique in that we're really actively trying to open more shellfish areas, and a key piece is also keeping the areas open that are open, right? And so in terms of Oakland Bay and other places around Hood Canal and Mason County, the key is everyone continuing to, make sure their septic systems are checked and make sure their stormwater is clean and all of those things, because that's how we do it, right? It takes the whole community.
And events like Shellfish Week help, as people get excited and have positive experiences around the shellfish, and then we can educate them about the need for water quality while they're having fun. They're more inclined to help us keep it that way.
What is it about Washington State? Is it that the open through the strait comes from the ocean, or what is it unique, about Washington State that allows for such great shellfish?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. It's definitely a unique body of water, the oceanography and all the nutrients that come into Puget Sound. It's an ideal growing area. Lots of good tidelands, the big tidal exchange. So we have big beaches that are exposed where other parts of the country don't have those huge tidal exchanges, and big flats that are exposed at low tide. That makes it kind of unique. And then Washington, since we became a state, the laws have tried to promote shellfish aquaculture. We passed laws right after we became a state to encourage that, and that's why we lead the country today in farm shellfish production. So.
Oh, very interesting.
And, it's been part of Washington history for a very long time, right? Since statehood, but even before that, tribes have been harvesting shellfish here for thousands of years, right? It's part of the ecosystem, and they grow, they just grow really well here.
Lots of multi-generation families that grow shellfish here in the state that are part of the farming industry. Taylor started in 1890, but, we're not the oldest. There's other companies that have been doing this equally as long. So.
Shellfish Week kicks off on June 4th. That's this Saturday. And one of the first big events is going to be at the Westport Light State Park. Zin's going to be out there for Shellfest, 11:30 to 1. And additionally, up at the Samish Bay, that's just outside of Bellingham, right near.
Yeah, just south of Bellingham on Chuckanut Drive up there.
Oh, beautiful area.
Yeah,
up there.
real nice area.
So you can go up to the Shellfish Seed Sale, get out of town if you wish, from 8 to 11 this Saturday. Or there's going to be some things happening around locally as well. We'll get these listed on our website.
Super.
Julie Horowitz and Bill Dewey, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for
so
having us
much.
on.
We've got the latest in local news coming up next.
ABC Entertainment News. Here's Jason Nathanson.
One of music's biggest power couples has called it quits.
I go on too many days.